Hello, welcome to Old versus Young Reactions. I'm Sora with my dad Mike, and like always, we take your suggestions first priority. So if you want us to react to something, please type it in the comments below the video. We've got Jim Croce, and the song is called Bad Bad, Leroy Brown.
Yeah, a favorite in our house, Jim Croce. Here we go.
Another one of those character songs. I got out of a university in 1965, totally prepared for life in the 12th century. Kind of looked around here, looked around there, and then I got this brown letter in the mail one day, signed by a general. Said, "Come play with us." So I went down to a place called Fort Jackson in South Carolina, where they took my extensive college experience and put me into the infantry as a lineman. I climbed telephone poles. It was communications, stringing that wire from one place to another. And I met this guy down there who was in the company. His name was Leroy Brown. Now, Leroy was one of those guys that didn't know the meaning of no. You tell Leroy to do one thing, and Leroy would do another thing. He was just one of those kind of characters. He come from Chicago, been out in the street a long time, and had to make his own way. So he was about to keep on making it. He was down there a couple weeks, and he looked at me one night. We're sitting talking. He says, "You know, Jim, I don't like this place, and I'm going to go home." So he got himself packed up, and he went home without telling anybody, except in the Army they call that AWOL, absent without leave. But he did come back at the end of the month to get his paycheck, and that was it.
Wow.
Snap put him in the handcuffs and took him away, but didn't bother him. He'd get out a little later, and still hung around. He was always the kind of guy that would keep people laughing, unless he got in trouble with them. And this is a tune I wrote about him, just called Bad Bad Leroy Brown. Well, the south side of Chicago is the baddest part of town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Leroy Brown. Now Leroy, more in trouble. See, he stand about 6'4". All the downtown ladies call him treetop lover. All the men just call him sir. And he's bad, bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Better than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Now Leroy, he a gambler, and he like his fancy clothes, and he like to wave him diamond rings upon everybody's nose. He got a custom Continental, he got an Eldorado too. He got a 32 gun in his pocket for fun. He got a razor in his shoe. Yeah, that is bad, bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Better than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog.
Yeah,
right.
I wrote a short for the channel on Bad Bad Leroy Brown. I knew it was based on his real person, but I didn't know all the details until Mr. Jim Croce himself explained more of the story.
Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like,
it was based on a real guy. He went AWOL, but then he came back to get his month's paycheck. And then
not a bright guy, not a real smart guy.
Perfect idea to write a song about him. And Jim and to know that him and Leroy Brown were actually friends.
Yeah, that it's a
Jim
real tough guy too.
Yeah, because he met him in the Army, and I was like, wow, these two were actually friends with each other.
Yeah, and it's another one of these songs that the lyrics are all, well, the music is peppy.
Yeah,
and it's kind of fun, but then you listen to the lyrics and they're talking about the guy carrying a gun. He's got a razor and a shoe to cut people with it, and like
it's just like
it's a real tough kind of like music, and
like you said, because like the guy grew up in Chicago and he had to like fight for himself.
Yeah.
And he just put his personality and basically the guy in the song. Jim Croce's just a great singer. It's a shame that we lost him.
He was a genius.
And the other guy too,
brilliant
his friend who's playing with him, Mulheisen, he died in the crash too, and he was really great as well.
Wow.
Yeah, he was his buddy, and he played on I think with him live.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
All right, well here we go.
Well, it was Friday, about a week ago. Leroy shooting dice, and at the edge of the bar sat a girl named Doris, and oh, that girl looked nice. Well, he cast his eyes upon her, and her trouble soon began. And Leroy Brown, they learned a lesson about messing with the wife of a jealous man. And it's bad, bad attempt. Now when they pulled down from the floor, Leroy looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone. And his bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town, better than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Yes, it's bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town, better than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Yes, he was better than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog.
Yeah,
that's great.
Jim Croce.
Yeah, that guy that sings. I didn't know that you mentioned that he passed away too, and I've seen that guy on various videos with Jim Croce, and
yeah,
like a nice singer himself, a really good guitar player, but in no way tries to upstage Jim Croce. Anytime he's on, and when you notice him, you start noticing him a lot, and it's like, wow, that guy was a really cool guy. He knew his spot. Yeah. He knew what his job was.
Jim Croce is just a great singer. And he said he was like one of your dad's favorite artists.
Oh, yeah. And he had just started to get popular when he died. Ooh. You know, like that was the thing. It's not like he had been around for 10 years and then died. He, like his music was just kind of catching on. And then he was part of the tragedy. And
yeah, but Jim Croce's is great. I'd love to do more from him. I know some have recommended listen to his son AJ. He does covers of the songs at some point.
Yeah,
we'll maybe do him maybe a little more as we get a little bigger.
Yeah,
we'll do him a little more when we get bigger, because some people have even said, "Oh, you should go see AJ live." And well, maybe we will. I'd like to hear him at some point, and I'd love to hear more Jim Croce songs.
Absolutely, Jim's the best.
Right. Yes, he is. He's like my second favorite singer of all time. Yeah. Like always, this has been Old versus Young Reactions. I'm Sawyer, Dad Mike, and we'll see you all next time. Rock on.
Music is love.
Yes, it is.